What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Orb Plus. How you been? Firstly, I want to note a couple things. We are late to take a trade. Pretty late. I wanted to really wait and see exactly what the symposium did. I wanted to know how exactly it affected the market before I just take a trade on the day, right? And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna wake up late a couple times just to see exactly what it does to observe, because I didn't know what it did to market. Let me get um, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. As you can see, we're still within our time. We could take a trade, but I'm interested to know exactly what's going to happen. 9:50 and 10:10. Cool. Cool. Let's go back up to the hour. Yeet. Good. We have Asian session low here. We don't care for Asian session high because it gets passed up above on London session. So this right here would have been our default range between these two here. We'd have been looking for a high to get broke past, which is what we got here. From there we go to the 5-minute. As you can see here, we were in a downtrend for this break of structure here. We had an order block. It got disrespected. We see it continue higher, right? Close above this high. As soon as that occurred, we see a revisit of this order block here. Closes within, continues higher. Break of structure, order block. Revisit of this whole move here. Breaker block. And then boom. Major move up. We see that break of structure again there. It actually revisits this whole thing several times over. Could we have taken a trade within this right here? No, because this was the setup for London session. This was the high. So we would have waited for a closure above. We got that closure above on this candle here. We broke structure there. Okay, I think this right here is where the symposium folder occurred. Let me see what news had to say. We had 3 red folders today. President Trump speaks. Ooh, hello. So I did not see that before. Beforehand, it was just Jackson Symposium, and it was an orange folder. But just now, as of checking it, we had Fed Chair Powell and President Trump speaks at the same time, both of which were red. So today was very high impact news. Yep. So the impact was expected. It was changed from orange to high, noted here. Cool. And then Jackson Holsom's symposium. So this is essentially a meeting with a bunch of bankers and influential officials that can create significant market volatility, which is cool. It's okay. Technically, this would have been a great setup for trading this right here. However, at the same time, because it was such high impact news, we didn't know where market was going to go. We have one folder that hit at 10 a.m. Literally speaking, that would have been this folder right here. This one candle moving way up. That was Fed Chair Powell speaking. So where do I think we could take a trade now? I don't think we could take a trade at the moment. We manipulated the high and we continued up, right? My question now becomes, are we going to see it just continue higher? If so, cool, but I'm also curious to see if it just drops immediately after. Because if it drops, I'm happy not to have taken a trade here. I really am. I want to go up to the hour before I really digest, observe, dissect whatever this is. So I should go up to the 4 hour and just start from the top. Because we were in a downtrend for a while, as you can see here, right? We didn't break structure until this candle right here, making this an order block. This order block was never revisited, so it's going to have to come down and revisit this at some point on a higher time frame. On this time frame, we know it's got to come down. On the hour, same story. Major downtrend. Cool, we broke structures here. Here's our order block. As you can see, we have nothing revisiting it, so it has to come down. We know this break of structure is the sign reversal. It comes up, right? We left with a fair value gap here. We actually inverted this fair value gap. Left a fair value gap in its place. Price came down to revisit. Respected it. Continued higher. Cool. We're in an uptrend at the moment. While knowing that we have an order block here, it's got to come down and revisit this, either that, or it's going to come down and revisit this fair value gap, or this fair value gap, or this fair value gap, and it's got to either disrespect it completely, close below, and just continue lower, or respect it, close within, and then jump up higher. One of the two. On the 30-minute, same story, except there's a little bit more detail within this right here we can take a look at. So, of course, break of structure here, order block there, did not get revisited because there were two major fair value gaps within this. We saw price come down, but it didn't close below this low, so we didn't get a break of structure off of this. No biggie, we're still in an uptrend based on this break of structure. We see it come down, revisit this move here, which would have been our breaker block had it come down this far, revisit this. It didn't. Instead, it consolidated, which leads to believe that it was trying to fill the orders left behind by these fair value gaps here while respecting them to continue higher. We consolidate a little bit. I want to say this would be our breaker block. We never broke structure below a low. Price continued higher. We had a fair value gap. Anywhere in this could have been a fair that we could have gone long within this, and we could have just watched it continue up higher. There's no real indication that within this would have been a safe spot to enter market because, again, Fed Chair Powell spoke, and as a result, the market went about its way. He influenced the market. Because that was the way it is, we see it going up higher, and there was no real precise indication that, yes, enter here, yes, enter here. What we do know is that if we were to zoom in, we were in an uptrend the whole time, and that this was a consolidation pattern. We would have been waiting for a breakout pattern within this, and our breakout only ever occurred right here because we had this retrace down. Okay, so that's a good note to have observed. Either we kept consolidation and we moved up above this high, or we actually break structure off of this and continued lower. That would have been the deciding factor here. Fed Chair Powell speaking is a complete folder, separate event in and of itself. Because he spoke, it went up higher, and if after we manipulated the high, it was to be expected price to continue higher, even without him speaking. He just amplified the result of price moving up and out of this consolidation pattern. So, break of structure, uptrend, no breaks, consolidation, filling of the orders here of these fair value gaps, and then move up above the high, and an actual closure, break, and then move fair value gap, folder. We move to the 5-minute. What would the 5-minute have told us? What would it have done? Well, we would have waited for the hour specifically, because there was nothing outside of the fair value gaps that were telling us, hey, enter here. We would have waited for price to go up above and close above this high. There's our closure. What would we have waited on at that point? One of the following confluences, either inverse fair value gap. Sorry. Let's make sure I'm getting that right, because I've been wrong in the past. Not that. This. Break of structure, inverse fair value gap, or an S&T. I don't see a break of structure in this at all, actually. We see a manipulation of the high. A key level was hit. So I don't see a break of structure from this point forward. I don't see an inverse fair value gap from this point forward. In fact, it just closes above it and then continues up higher. Let me see what NASDAQ says. NASDAQ. We didn't really mark anything on NASDAQ because I woke up, again, very, very late. So we're going to do this super quick. Where's 9:30? There's 9:30. There's 9:50. Here's 10:10. Here's 10:30. So within this, right, our high is, we actually have to go up to the hour because it is incredibly difficult to tell where the flip it is on that. Boom. Same story here. We have finally a break over here, right? And let's observe this real quick. We have break, continuation of higher, fair value gap, cool. And then there's a higher low there. We look at the this right here, boom, fair value gap, higher low. No SMT. No SMT to speak of, I don't think. Actually, there is an SMT. It happened before. So we had on the S&P, we had break here up above that key level closure, right? It created a higher high here. On the NASDAQ, had a lower low, had a lower high here, right? There's our S&T. From here, we would have moved on to the 5 minute. 5 minute is the same time frame. The only difference is we're looking for either fair value gap, breaker block, order block, or equilibrium to be hit. Well, we got a fair value gap right here that was immediately inverted here, making this right here this probably would have been the best spot to take a trade, but also the riskiest. Okay, I think at this point I would have probably gone to the 1 minute because it did the same thing here. We had a fair value gap, cool, kept doing fair value gap, cool, and it came back down, inverted one of them, respected the other, but went as far down as this right here, then continuing higher based on Fed Chair Powell speaking. This was a cool move, but because of this retrace, the uncertainty of taking this trade would have set in on me, specifically. I would have gone down to the 1 minute because we saw this go down and we wanted to see, I want to see where price would have inverted, where price would have given me what I wanted to take a trade. So we moved up, right? We've already broke up above here. We closed, we continued higher, fair value gap, fair value gap. Here is the inverse fair value gap here, and then the dip further down to fill this fair value gap, which gave this right here what it needed. We have our break of structure here off of this low, right? We have a fair value gap here that inverts this. Technically, because of these two doing exactly what I wanted them to, I would have entered right here at the close of this, or at the close of this candle specifically, so right about there. And we would have seen it shoot way up high. It's 10:30. I can no longer take a trade. The setup was there. We could have taken a trade. Did we though? No. And looking at what the chart's doing at the very moment, I'm looking at this whole move. We would have probably caught all the way up to here, to be honest. And if we were to have done that, let me go here. We would have entered right here, and my stop loss would have been probably higher than that, but still, where is my stop loss going? My stop loss is going on the hour. That's usually how I do things. We have a breakup structure there. We have fair value up here. This is a little too close for comfort. There's no guarantee that price would have kept going higher on the hour or the 30-minute. Let me see what the 30-minute actually has to say. The consolidation. I probably would have done something like this right here, just because it consolidated after hitting these fair value apps here. This would have been insanely close. Had price come down even a little bit, we would have gotten stopped out. The safest bet outside of this to put my stop loss would have been like at the bottom of one of these fair value apps, just to give it room to come down first, respect it, and then continue higher. I think that would have been the best choice of action. In the event we were to take this trade, though, that would have been a 1 to 4, almost 4 risk to reward ratio, and that honestly would have been muy bueno. I would have taken this trade, I think. But at the same time, I don't know. I can't say for certain I would have taken this trade because there were few indicators telling me to take the trade, right? My emotions probably would have gotten in the way. I'd have de-risked, and then I'd have stopped what I was doing, and then slowly backed out just a little bit. Would I have taken the trade today? Probably. Weighing everything out right now. I probably would have taken the trade, but I would have de-risked a lot. I probably would have waited and potentially have missed it. But I probably would not have taken the trade up until about this point here, just for that break of structure to occur. Unlike down here where the closure of the red candle was on the 1 minute. On the 1 minute, it would have been incredibly risky. On the 5 minute, it would have been a little bit more understandable. On the hour, it makes no sense. On the 30-minute, I had my stop loss. On the 4 hour, we knew price needs to come back down at some point, because we still have an order block, this whole move here, that's got to come down and do stuff with. Had we entered here, we would have hit this key level, that one, all the way up into this right here, this high, this draw, relative equal, well, that's a high, this is just a draw, relative equal draws and liquidity. We went as far as up there. Did we go even? No, we didn't go higher. Relative equal highs there. Shot all the way up through them. Complete inverse of this. On the 4 hour, yes, this could be a reversal because we broke structure off of that right there. But at the same time, we are expecting it to continue lower to hit this, revisit, respect. If it respects this, we'll see it continue higher. But if not, we'll see it actually drop much further. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know we didn't take a trade today, and I know it was a bumpy ride throughout this. We woke up late. I did that intentionally. I wanted to see exactly what price was going to do today to better understand what Symposium does to market. I was not aware that was even a folder. I intend to watch some videos to figure out exactly what that is. I know I said that last video, I think, and I haven't watched it because I've been busy with a bunch of other stuff. Primarily being sick, but that's beside the point. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider subscribing. I know it was kind of boring. I know. I wanted to observe. I wanted to dissect most of what happened here on this chart right now. I did my job quite well this week. We're up a little bit. I think we lost 2 trades. We lost 2 trades, but that was because I made some dumb mistakes and we ended up failing a little bit. And we double traded, which this right here, this won't happen again. Not again. We did so good up to the point. I really want to get back to this. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.